Dear Mr. Buffett and Mr. Munger, thank you very much for hosting the meeting. It's truly been remarkable. Thank you. My name is Yan, and I'm a partner at Tiger Brokers, a leading electronic brokerage firm from China. Let me rephrase that. So, I and my colleagues flew half away from the globe with IT and fan talks to be here, and then it's honored, just like everyone else in the stadium, we're honored to be here. My question is, you mentioned earlier that investors don't really have to be struggling in picking the right stocks. They would do well in picking probably the right market or the right country. China is the second largest economy and probably has the biggest growth potential. Just by passively weighting a portfolio, by passively valuating a portfolio, US investors are significantly underweighting China. So in your opinion, what are stopping the investors from investing in China? Thank you.
Well, I think the answer is that you're absolutely right, that American investors are missing China, and they're missing it because it's a long way away. It looks different. They're not used to it. It's complicated. The headlines confuse them. In other words, it just looks too hard sitting in Omaha to outsmart the Chinese market. But I think you're absolutely right. It's where they should be looking.
Okay. Ken? We've actually had a couple of investments in China. We've done pretty well, but there were, well, if you go back a number of years, prior to Petrochina, in terms of getting a lot of money into something, many billions, and we have to get billions into things to move any kind of a needle. That can be tougher in markets that you're unfamiliar working in, and it's difficult under any circumstances. But accumulating a $6 or $8 or $10 billion position in investments outside the United States can be very difficult. For example, in UK and much of Europe, we have to report when we own 3% of a company. In fact, we can be asked to report if we even have less than 3%. That really gets very tough when we get a bunch of followers and a lot of publicity that probably isn't deserved in terms of what we're doing in the markets and everything. So some of the problems are just by the nature of our size. It would be it'd be a lot easier for running smaller fund. Petrochina, we managed to get a very big position, but the government owned 90% of it. So we bought 14% of what the government didn't own, but it was still only 1.4% of the company. But Charlie actually keeps pushing me to do more in China, and we've tried a couple of times actually. And there was one operation that we got involved in.
Well, you did so poorly the first time. You put in 200,000 and got about $2 billion. So
yeah. Well,
wasn't encouraging enough.